Just to let the public know I'm not here with the same issue.
Why not?
I have my own battles to fight. I have the following comments. The Office of Sheriff is still reeling in disappointment and utter disbelief on the Board of Supervisors' decision to provide that paltry amount of $180,000 to assist in operating the county's adult detention center. We were completely blindsided with little or no opportunity to have a meaningful discussion or negotiations. We felt left out, and this was unwarranted, unacceptable, and by all professional standards wrong. Any meeting with the Board of Supervisors seeking solution prior to the approval of the tentative budget lacked sincerity and transparency. It appears more apparent now that the Board of Supervisors and staff had reached a decision a long time ago to zero out any funding from the general fund to assist jail operations. Let us be clear on how we got to the paltry amount of $180,000. Had it not been for the intervention of the county attorney's office, who requested an executive session, we would not have received a penny. We weren't privileged as to what was discussed in that session. However, either staff or a board member came up with the amount at that time with $450,000. How the sum of $450,000 was arrived at is a complete mystery to us. What criteria were applied to come up with that amount in less than half an hour of discussion? When the board returned to the regular session, they made it public and official that the support to the jail district would be $450,000. According to Supervisor Reed, the chairman's recommendation was fair and reasonable. $450,000 from a $2.4 million is far from fair and reasonable. We asked the Board of Supervisors to provide us with $600,000 or $700,000 so we would not have to hand out any pink slips to our employees. The board gave us a resounding no to our request. Everybody at that meeting left with the understanding that we had $450,000 to work with. Sheriff Office staff met immediately following that meeting and scrambled to come up with a difference to keep on current employees and not jeopardize jail operation any further. While in the process of solving this dilemma, we were advised that we didn't have $450,000, but a mere $180,000. The reason given was that personnel had been shifted into the jail district budget, reducing the amount available for salary. Chairman Maynard, if you recall, I called you immediately after I was given that information. I told you that $180,000 was an insult to the office of the sheriff. You claimed that you were unaware of this and would check with finance. That is the last time I personally heard from you. The county manager has reported and recommended on numerous occasions to the board that unless something is done, like raising property taxes, that the county would run out of reserves in 2 to 3 years. The board has ignored staff recommendations for the past 2 years. Now the board has 2 to 3 years to put on their thinking caps, be creative, and become proactive with a plan that won't always be relying on sales tax, property tax, state lottery funds, PERF, the only sources of income. By depriving the Sheriff's Office of additional funding, it took a tremendous effort in behalf of our staff to avoid layoffs. We came up with additional resources of revenue from RICO funds, jail enhancement fund, and commissary fund. These were pockets of money that had been traditionally been utilized to pay overtime for jail staff and jail operations, patrol, communication, purchase equipment, training, and donations to such agencies as the Boys and Girls Club, Christmas in April, 4-H, Relay for Life, Boys and Girls Scout, Little League, United Way, Nogales Infantil, LULAC, Kiwanis Club, Nogales Rotary, Santa Cruz Unified School District, Back to School Blitz, Paul and Cabot Sedgwick Foundation, Santa Cruz Soccer League, the Patagonia Youth Enrichment Center, Santa Cruz Young Audiences, Rio Rico Youth Basketball, Law Enforcement Memorial, Arizona Youth Bowling League, A.J. Mitchell Elementary Parent Teacher Association, Santa Cruz County Stone Football, and the list goes on and on. This board has deprived us of the opportunity to do all of the above. This was our way of improving the quality of life in Santa Cruz County. The last time that the Board of Supervisors donated funds to these worthy organizations was during the Dennis Miller era. It was during his tenure that donations stopped. The Board of Supervisors never reinstated any effort to assist nonprofit local agencies, the Nogales Port Authority, or the Chambers of Commerce here in Santa Cruz County. Transparency and fairness were never part of this year's budget. Arbitrary and capricious is nothing else. The whole budget situation is baffling. The Adult and Juvenile Detention Center was voter approved in 2005. Voters made it abundantly clear that they supported the design, the construction, and the operation of the jail facility. The board is jumping and abandoning ship on it. The new county courthouse was not put on to voters to be approved. We don't recall much meaningful public discussion in the board meeting. The county, out of the general fund, is currently paying $1 million per year to debt service until that courthouse is paid in year 2033. This has never been up to the table for discussion, yet the sheriff's office and the jail district is always a point of discussion. We don't mean to throw other department heads and elected officials under the bus, but we are constantly being blamed, and that's not fair. There are other components to the jail district budget: medical at the adult and juvenile detention, overseen by the county manager, and juvenile detention. Yet the sheriff's office is the only one called to the podium and the lectern every time. Gentlemen, the irony, tragedy, and unfairness of the whole budget process is that under the Board of Supervisors budget, you have a $3.5 million contingency or emergency fund. We anticipate major changes in how we operate the county jail, changes that will have a detrimental impact on different segments of our community. As we move forward, we can assure you that the financial situation, which is currently affecting our staffing and jail operations, will become an emergency and a nightmare as we run out of funds to pay overtime because of staff shortages, burnout, Arizona Department of Corrections transport, medical transport, suicide watch, and coverage, just to name just a few. We will run out of overtime pay in the very near future. Our detention staff has already topped out. It peaked out in accrued comp time. They are requesting vacation days off. They are requesting sick leave. They are requesting maternity leave. Yet we are running out of money in personnel, and we're dangerously understaffed. This is a time bomb. We feel abandoned by this board. Our office has been vocal and critical of the Board of Supervisors in the past. We sincerely hope that this is not retribution. We cannot be held accountable if we are not provided with adequate funding. Again, we want to reiterate our position on this. We also feel we have a professional, ethical responsibility.
Please wrap it up.
I will. I've only got a few minutes left. We feel we have a professional, ethical responsibility to make ACIP aware of our current predicament and how we got to this point. This board has the authority and the revenue available to remedy the situation. All you need is a desire and the political will to do the right thing for public safety. Because, gentlemen, this is a major public safety issue, and I want to thank you for your